the Emo Hour, your weekly power hour of all things emo and adjacent, with your hosts, Katie and Nani.
Hello and welcome to the Emo Hour. It's your host, Nani, and my good friend, Katie. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Nani. How are you today?
You know, I'm a little tired. It's been a very big, fun weekend, but alas, here we are and thriving. I'm thriving.
We're all thriving, aren't we?
Yes,
We've had a little too much fun lately.
I
And,
know.
it's just summer and that's what we do. And I'm also feeling a little tired and definitely not 100%. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Mm.
I know that you have a big topic today on what's making you emo. So I think you should go first. So I have to ask you the question, what's making you emo, Katie?
Thank you. Yeah, we're starting off on a low, weird note, but it's just been so at the forefront of my mind. And we've talked about it on the podcast before, is the University of Idaho murders that happened almost 3 years ago. Because I went to school at University of Idaho, so Moscow is very near and dear to my heart. It's news that has kind of gripped the nation, as they say, and the world. But those 4 students were murdered almost 3 years ago. And
It's crazy that it's been 3 years.
yeah, Bryan Kohberger pled guilty. We talked about it a couple weeks ago after he entered his guilty plea. But he was sentenced this week on Wednesday, or last week, I guess. So the whole sentencing was live streamed, and I watched all 4 hours of it, and I was so locked into it because all of the family and other victims were able to give victim impact statements, and it was just so powerful and so emotional, and just you couldn't stop. I couldn't stop watching. It was just so also just interesting to see how everybody was handling their grief, and the different approaches that they took, and it's also very different circumstances. The 2 surviving roommates gave their own statements, and then, siblings of the victims and parents and aunts and uncles and all that stuff. It was quite a few people that gave victim impact statements, and it was, I hope that was helpful to them. I imagine it provided some sort of closure or something. I can't imagine how hard that was for all of them. One of the first ones to go was one of the surviving roommates who sat, instead of standing at the podium, she sat in a chair next to the prosecutor. And I found out after that she had asked the prosecutor to lean forward to block the view so that she didn't have to look at Bryan Kohberger.
Oh,
So the
wow.
prosecutor the entire time is leaning forward and kind of sideways so she could give her own statement and not have to see him in her peripheral view. But even though she was sobbing uncontrollably the whole time, she did such an amazing job with her presenting her statement. I've told you Kaylee Gonzalez's older sister Olivia gave a very strong and powerful statement. So if you have
Yeah,
any interest,
that one I watched in full.
yeah,
That's the only thing I've watched in full. Can I ask a question?
yeah.
How many hours of testimony, or not testimony, but whatever you call that? How many
Victim
hours?
impact.
Yeah.
It was 3.5 hours.
Wow.
They took one break. It started right around 9 a.m. and the sentencing was imposed, I don't know, sometime between 12 and 12:30. So it was a solid 3.5 hours. And it was just statement after statement. Some people didn't read their own statements. They had, either their attorney or a friend or somebody read statements for them. And then the judge gave a statement before actually imposing the sentence. And I also think the judge did a really great job handling the sentencing and the comments that he made. One of the things that stuck out to me with him, the judge, was he referenced an Idaho judge named Judge Lodge, who was a judge for 50 years, which is
Oh, wow.
crazy.
Yeah. I wonder how old he was when he retired.
He just retired a couple years ago.
Yeah, to do it for 50 years though, that's crazy.
Yeah, but Judge Hippler was the judge for this sentencing, and he referenced Judge Lodge and said, Judge Lodge was on the bench for 50 years. He was known for stating some sort of redeeming quality for every defendant that he sentenced. Like, he always wanted to say something positive.
Right.
And Judge Hippler was like, and sometimes that proved to be tough. And at one point, Judge Lodge just said, this defendant has really good penmanship. Like, that was how hard it was sometimes to
Wow.
find a positive. And then Judge Hippler said, I've thought about it, and there's no redeeming qualities for you. And he said that directly to Bryan Kohberger and was like, I can find nothing positive to say about you at all. The way that you've handled this is horrific. And he said it better than I would repeat right now, but that really stuck out to me too. Like, it had to be just the tension and emotions in that courtroom for 3.5 hours. Like, I can't imagine like being present in person. And
yeah, and what I saw like on the headlines is that he just like looked straight ahead the whole time. Was he looking straight ahead to the people talking, or was he just looking out into like the abyss?
No, I think he was looking at the people talking, but he didn't have like any reaction.
Gotcha.
But he was paying attention.
Okay.
He just had like no reactions. He just had like a blank stare the entire time. I don't know if I finished my thought. Kaylee's older sister, Olivia, is who I would recommend watching. I don't know if I said that in full or not.
No, I agree with you. I mean, obviously I didn't see all of it, but I did see that specifically, and I thought she did an incredible job of delivering what she needed to deliver, and it was very eloquent and it was very like thoughtful. You could tell she spent a lot of time on that. And
she used like stuff against him. Like, she was trying to tear him down, and I think she did a really good job of it. Like, if you know a lot about the case, which I do because I've been following it, like I said, I went to school there. It also happened when my daughter was 6 days old. So I was just like at home with a newborn, like watching all of this news, as it was happening.
Well, and you're a lawyer. Like, there's just so many layers that pull you into this story. And Travis went to school there, your husband.
Yeah. I mean, I lived like 2 blocks away from that house for a year. My first year of law school was like 2 blocks away from where that house is.
Crazy.
But I am glad he has been sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences without the chance for parole. He waived his right to appeal. I think all of that is good. It just puts a lot of finality on the situation. I know that not all of the family members, are in agreement or like support the plea deal. But it's just nobody's going to be happy with everything. It's just a horrible situation all around.
So that essentially means there's no wiggle room. There's no like glimmer of any chance of anything other than him being there for the rest of his life.
Yes.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah, that is the case. I mean, I want to say that there are some small exceptions. There could be some things that change, but I don't think so. Like, let's just keep it simple and say, like, he's in prison. He's at the maximum security prison outside of Boise, where he will likely be until he dies.
Wow.
And he's 30 years old, so that's a long time. He could also get switched to a different prison, too. That's the other thing. You just don't know. Like, they can get moved around.
Right.
But I also, before we started recording, there's a newer 4-part series on this on Amazon Prime. It's called One Night in Idaho. And I just watched the first episode, but it focuses so much on the family and the friends of the victims. And it's a lot of interviews of family and friends that we haven't really seen before. So, if you're interested, I'd recommend watching that. That's been powerful already. And I kind of suspect that they'll come out with new episodes since the sentencing has happened and since the gag order has been lifted too, because there was a gag order in place for a long time. So law enforcement and anybody involved with the case wasn't allowed to speak about it, and now they can. So
gotcha. I wonder, I'm curious if there's going to be a bunch of spin-off stuff that comes from this, or if we're seeing kind of the height of it right now, just because it's like this is the highest part of it in the news.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's certainly, we're going to see more. The gag order's lifted, so a bunch of new documents were released like right after the sentencing happened, literally the same day.
Wow.
So there's like new to us information coming out. So there's been articles and stuff about that. And I'm sure there's going to be some more of that. And now, the prosecutor's done a couple interviews. He was like on the Today Show and stuff. So people are going to be doing more interviews. And there's always the question of if Bryan Kohberger is going to do interviews or write a book or something like that.
Oh my God, that's so crazy to think.
Yeah.
So crazy.
But I believe he can't make money off of it if he does, but he could still speak out,
Interesting. So if he signed a book deal, he couldn't technically make money from it?
Yeah, I don't know the details behind it, but that's what I watched an interview where the prosecutor said that basically he can't make a bunch of money off of like this story. So
Right.
I don't know how that works. I couldn't tell you. I don't know the details, but that's what the prosecutor said. But it's just, it's affected obviously like my alma mater and everybody that has a connection with University of Idaho. I think it's affected the whole state. It's affected the whole country. I mean, just the ripple effects of something like this. And it's just like a random, horrible crime and so unnecessary. It's really tragic.
And they say that like it's all essentially, well, the hypothesis, right? Because there's no real evidence or there's no real like confirmation that this is what happened. But my understanding is that the idea is that he just like a very lonely dude that was kind of rejected by women and maybe angry about it. And one of the girls in that house was
That's the speculation. Yeah. And part of the thing with the plea agreement that people disagree with, and something that Trump actually said online, he decided to get involved, was basically saying that Bryan Kohberger needs to say why he did this, and he needs to be forced to say that. I'll just say there's never a requirement for a criminal defendant to testify as to what their motivation was for committing a crime. That's never a requirement. They can choose to.
right. But it's not a, yeah.
But they don't have to. And that's been such a big deal. People want to know. I get it, and you want to try to make sense of it because it is senseless. But I'm mostly just annoyed that Trump got involved and said that the judge needs to force him to say it because you just can't. And that's just not how the legal system works.
No.
So if it had gone to trial, what would happen is that the prosecutors would present evidence to make an argument. And that's what the speculation is that like this was really, like you just said, Bryan Kohberger had been rejected by women, and this was kind of him getting back at that probably attacking one of the girls, and then the other three were collateral damage. Like that's kind of what the idea is that's been presented. But all that would happen is it'd be an argument that the prosecutors make, and they would maybe convince the jury of that. But you don't have to prove a motive. Like you just have to prove that he did it, and he admitted that he did.
Yeah.
So
nuts.
But
so nuts.
The other thing, if he does speak out and give a motive now, who's to say he's being honest about it?
That's what I was going to say is like, just because you force somebody to give a motive doesn't mean that the motive is true or whatever the answer is true. So what's the point?
Yeah.
So,
and it's a very human thing to want to know why, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course you want closure. That like anytime you don't have closure in a relationship or in anything, like of course you want to have closure. So yeah, like you said, I hope that all of these what the victim statements gave those folks the closure that's at least helpful to move forward, because staying and spiraling and spinning in this on the same carousel over and over again, it's got to be exhausting.
Yeah, definitely. So that was long. Thanks for letting me talk about it. As you know, it's been like very top of mind for me, and I've been spending a lot of time watching a bunch of stuff about it, which is, interesting, but also not uplifting.
No, definitely not uplifting. Well, I guess in that case, I can tell you what's making me emo this week, which is completely different.
Yes, please do. Get us out of this.
Yeah, get us out of the murder case. So I was, we were at my house the other night, and we had the live stream of Warped Tour on my TV.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe one of my favorite things is the fact that you and I were hand in hand, like jumping up and down and around 303.
Yeah.
And the live stream, which, this is a very good parlay into what we're talking about this episode. But what was making me emo is as we were watching hand in hand, just having the best time ever watching this live stream, because it truly is such a good live stream.
It is.
It's so good. 303 was wearing the most ridiculous outfits of all time that I think I've ever seen them wear. They were wearing lucky jeans with the really thick stitch on the butt that looks like a horseshoe.
Mm.
They were wearing variations of baggy jeans, which were just like so ridiculous. I saw cowboy boots. I saw a bunch of different types of shoes. But really the star of the show were the Affliction t-shirts. And then they were all wearing trucker hats. Some of them had mustaches. Some of them had mullets. They looked like they were straight out of, I don't even know. It was just like the most ridiculous clothing that you could ever imagine 303 wearing. But it was so good.
It was so good.
So
I agree.
good.
That was a surprise. And you pointed that out immediately when we turned it on. You're like, oh, I think you might have said Ed Hardy at first. You're like, is that Ed Hardy? And then you're like, no, they're Affliction shirts.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, you gotta love them so much. Like they don't take themselves seriously at all, and I love that.
Not at all. Well, I love that that's what's making you emo, and I did watch quite a bit of day one of Warped Tour live stream on YouTube, and I definitely have some FOMO and want to be there.
Well, we're going to Orlando, right? Isn't that the plan?
Orlando in November. Yeah, well, we might as well just kind of parlay ourselves over into, look at me using words like parlay. We might as well just get right into it. Our topic of the day, which is July 2025 emo news. Emo news.
So Warped Tour, we should talk about it. I have some thoughts. Do you want me to give you a couple of my thoughts?
Sure.
So I was doing a little comparison against the live stream from Washington, D.C. to this. And I thought that Long Beach, based on what I've seen on the live stream so far, is that it felt more like Warped Tour. Still very glossy, still very big festival, like big properly produced festival. Right, we don't have that nitty gritty OG like Warped Tour that we know and love. But it did feel, to me, it felt closer to the original Warped Tour in Long Beach than it did in Washington, D.C.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think it was just like a vibe thing. I don't know how to explain it. Like looking at the crowd, looking at the setup of the way the production was done, the crowds were huge. I mean, that crowd for 303 was insane.
Yeah, it was nuts.
And what they were playing up against All American Rejects, I think, at the same time.
Yeah.
And their crowd was huge. So I think that whoever was there ended up having such an epic time. I'm with you. I definitely was wishing I was there in person.
Yeah. I definitely watched more of the live streams this time than I did of the DC ones, and it has just given me more FOMO. One of the first bands I saw yesterday, or when I was watching, was Games We Play, which is a band I've never really listened to, but they did like a beach party, so they were all just in swim trunks, and they had like a bunch of beach balls, and they had a bunch of like just like blow up stuff, and I was just like, that just looks like so much fun. These guys are just like being idiots on stage, and their music, they sounded great. The music was great. I also saw Lolo, who is somebody I haven't really listened to very much, but she was putting on a great performance too. So I'm discovering some new artists just by watching the live stream. So I would recommend people do that.
That's what Warped Tour is all about. Like at its core, it's music discovery. And even like back to the way that they were releasing the lineup, they were doing it all around music discovery. So I think that's awesome that that's part of what you've taken out of it. I feel like you've probably done more discovery than I have.
Maybe this time. Any other Warped Tour thoughts or?
No, just that I wish that I was there. It looked like a blast. It's still weird if you remember, right? Like they were up back to back against MCR is at Dodger Stadium, and then Warped Tour is happening in Long Beach. So two very hugely like emo things are happening on the same weekend
Yeah,
up against each other. So I'd be
that's
curious.
true. Good
I am
point.
curious how it affected ticket sales or if people tried to do back to back.
Good point. Well, that we had some more MCR news we wanted to talk about too.
Oh
They're
yeah.
obviously on tour. They did their first show in Seattle. They've done, a few shows since then. I had a friend that went to the Seattle show and she said it was incredible. She
Really?
really enjoyed it. And she said she had been like whatever stadium it's at. I don't remember at the top of my head, but she went and saw Post Malone and Jelly Roll like a couple weeks prior and then
Uh-huh.
went to MCR. And she said MCR was so much better than Post Malone and Jelly Roll. And I
Oh.
feel like they put on such a big performance and such a big production. So that
Well,
makes sense.
so that's part of like what was so taboo about it too. So I think it was very much a huge theatrical production. But I don't know if you saw this. And it's out of context, right? So like if you watch the whole show from start to finish, maybe it makes sense. But a lot of the chatter online is talking about a specific moment in the show in which they give every single concert attendee a card that says yay or nay. One side is red, one side is black. And at a certain point in the show, Gerard Way, the lead singer, says, "We've got these four people. Should we elect them?" It's like a fake election or something like that. They say yay or he asks the audience yay or nay. And his voice, by the way, I think is getting like, I feel like his character is getting like weirder and weirder to me. I say that with peace and love, but just
Yeah.
watching some of this stuff, it's just a little further out there than I was expecting. And so they did this yay or nay thing. The audience decided nay. More people voted nay. And so what they did is there was like these pop-up cutouts of like dudes with guns, and then they like did this explosion that essentially was like an execution style thing, and then the people on the stage, oh, they all had bags over their heads too. So it was four people on the B stage, which the B stage is generally like down the thrust. Like there's the main stage, and then B stage is like down a thrust at the very end of a thrust, right? Like think like a
Like a
long
catwalk?
yeah,
I've never heard the word
catwalk or like a
thrust.
runway. Sorry,
Okay.
catwalk or like runway. Like at the very end of that, there's normally like a B stage, or there's B stage is
Okay.
any other
Yeah.
stage that you're performing on. Anyways, so so these four people have bags over their heads on the B stage, and then the audience decides nay. They don't know what's going to happen because they're the first tour stop on this tour, and so everybody votes nay. These pop up things with like, it's almost like pop art, if you will, cutouts of like a person with a gun, and then a bang happens, big fire explodes, and then they just like disappear into like a trap door below them. It's really, really weird and pretty off-putting when you see it like that. I wonder
Yeah.
what the experience was like for the concert goers, because what it could have been like a small piece in a much larger story that made it less harsh. But from the layman's eye of just looking at it, I'm like, what in the hell are they doing? That's wild.
Yeah, I didn't even hear about that. That
Yeah.
seems
That
weird.
was, that was a lot of the feedback that I saw online, that some people were really off put by that, but like it's creative choices, right? So my hope is that it fits
Yeah.
to a larger theme or through line, that it just does, it's out of context when you see the clip.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I know, right? Sorry.
Create well, and you use the phrase creative choices because the other MCR news is that they released a new song, and if you can see me, I'm doing
Air
air
quote,
quotes.
air quotes.
I don't know if it's like a teaser. A song. I don't feel like is the right way to put it.
Because it's a minute,
Um,
right?
It's just over a minute long. It's called Over Fields, and they say it's the national anthem of drag, but drag is DRAAG. And it came out over a week ago, and I hadn't listened to it or checked it out. I watched the video today. Have you watched it yet?
No, I haven't.
So it is so strange, and I don't understand what's happening. But it's like it's just over a minute long, and it's like an opera sounding song, and the clips on this video are just like old-timey clips. I don't even know how else to explain it.
And did you look up what drag means to them?
No.
Because drag refers to, I'm going to just read it to you so I don't butcher it, but it refers to a fictional nation and concept that the band is using to build narrative around their performances and potentially a future album. So it's a fictional nation. Drag is a fictional nation.
Okay. Well, I knew that. I wasn't understanding your question. But yeah, but it's just like they're giving us like little snippets, but I don't think anybody like really knows what's happening.
Right.
And I think the guess is that there will be a new album. MCR hasn't released any new music in a long time. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a long time. So it's weird that like this is the first release, and it's like, what does this mean? Because it's just like an opera song. Like, what is it? Like, it's not Gerard Way. It's opera singers.
It's a national anthem.
Yeah, MCR, they're just doing things that are above my artistic understanding.
That's kind of where that's a great way to put it. That's exactly how I feel too. I don't know exactly what's happening, but they're pushing the envelope. That's for sure.
They're doing what they're doing, and
yeah, we'll see how this whole thing ties up in a nice bow, hopefully.
Yeah. So we've got kind of quite a few things to talk about. The All-American Rejects performed at a Savannah Bananas baseball game.
Oh, much happier news than this apocalyptic feeling MCR concert is.
Yeah.
Tyson Ritter at the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, they did a 3-song medley. The songs that they sang with "Move Along," "Dirty Little Secret," and "Gives You Hell." And honestly, the video's fun. Like, go watch it. It's great.
I love the Savannah Bananas. Like,
same.
What a ridiculous concept, and how cool is it that it has gained so much popularity. I feel the wait list for tickets is years.
Yeah, actually, I'm on the interest list for Denver, I think. You should get on the interest list for maybe Seattle or something.
Okay.
Because you can only sign up for one location. So you should do it.
But why couldn't we both do Denver?
Well, we could, but if you pick a different location, we have a better chance. Because we don't know when it's going to be.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I didn't have to reserve a number of tickets. I just, I'll get notified,
Gotcha.
So, yeah. But the video is so good. And I just have to say, the amount of moving around that Tyson Ritter did, singing those 3 songs, moving around the entire field.
Yeah.
And he was, it was him
Aerobic.
singing. It was good for him, man. That takes some effort to be, walking around and, people are dancing and stuff. So go watch that. That was great.
Also, go Savannah Bananas in general.
Go Savannah Bananas.
I love it. I like them. I like them so much better than the other teams in the league. I don't know what they call that league, like Party League or whatever.
I think it's the Banana Ball.
Oh, okay, Banana Ball. Yeah, there's the Party Animals and the other ones, but Savannah Bananas are, to me, the best.
They're the OGs.
They are the OGs.
That makes sense.
Tell me about the Simple Plan documentary, because you know a lot more about it than I do, and I
was just going to skip over that, because all I know, it's called The Kids in the Crowd. It's on Hulu. It came out in July. It came out a few weeks ago.
Okay.
But I told you this morning, I think both of us should watch it, and then we should do an episode talking about it.
Okay, I'll do that. That sounds fun.
Okay, yeah.
I'll watch a movie with you any day.
Yeah. Okay, so then I was going to say Nothing Nowhere is back with his Willa Emo series. He had an injury, so I think he took some time off, and he's been touring too. But he's released 2 songs this month, I think.
Taylor Swift.
Thank you. Taylor Swift, We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, and Perfect by One Direction. And I think Perfect by One Direction is my favorite one that he's done. So
Ever?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's my favorite he's done 6 or 7 of them now, probably, maybe a little bit more. But the Perfect by One Direction, you have to watch it till the end, because it gets deathcore, metally screaming, and it's pretty freaking awesome. He's just such a talented guy. We've talked about this before. He plays all the for this Willa Emo series and for his albums. He plays all the instruments. He produces it himself. He sings. He does it all. Like that's amazing.
That's
to
a
me.
lot of talent right there.
Yeah.
I just had a thought. One thing you didn't talk about, sorry to bring us back to Warped Tour, was there was one specific show that you watched with a ginger. How was that?
I did turn it on, and it happened to be Memphis Mayfire with
Oh my
my
God.
boy Matty Mullins.
My boy.
He has such a great voice. He does. I was just like, he sounds so good, and he screams so good, and then like goes from singing to screaming. Like they put on a rockin' show. It was great. I think Anne Boleyn is also there, or Anne Boleyn has been at some of the dates. I don't know if they're at Long Beach, but Anne Boleyn brought back their original vocalist for these festivals because Maddie is performing with Memphis Mayfire.
Gotcha.
But and talk about it, yeah, another talented guy. He's got a great voice, and he's touring with 2 bands and doing new music with 2 bands. Like
I don't know how that's possible.
He's a busy boy.
Yeah, kind of like Anthony Green. I feel like Anthony Green does the same thing where it's just like all these different projects constantly touring.
Yeah.
Okay, so you talked about All American Rejects, and I'm thinking about Good Charlotte because we have some Good Charlotte news. Do we think that, like, what was the connection between all of this stuff?
I don't know that there is, but yeah, they released a new song called Rejects. They've released a couple songs because they have a new album coming out. I actually really like the new songs in general.
Good Charlotte?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I haven't I definitely listened to a lot of Good Charlotte back in the day, but I would never say that they were my fave. But I really like the new stuff. Their new song Rejects is really good, and their music video is claymation, which I noted that one of the All American Rejects new music videos is claymation as well. So I'm like, what's going on here?
Maybe
I
there's
don't know.
just like some emo fan out there that was like, I'll make you a claymation video for free because I love your band.
Maybe.
That stuff happens though. Like I used to get sent things like I love your band and I do 8-bit music, like Nintendo style music, you know? Like I would be happy to do 8-bit, or like directors would come into the fold because they were really big fans of the band and they do things at different rates just because they really wanted to work with a certain band. So I'm curious if that could be it, because that's really, really random to have 2 bands in the same genre doing claymation videos and then one song being called Rejects.
Yeah. I think Tyson Ritter's dad has some connection to claymation, like has done a lot of it. Like that's in his line of work. So I feel like I heard that, so that made some sense. But then Good Charlotte came out with theirs, and that was claymation. I was like, what's going on? Maybe they'll come out with a song together?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows? Goldfinger came out with a new song with Mark Hoppus. So Mark Hoppus still just, getting around with all these different bands. That's what he does.
He's getting around for sure.
Getting around.
He's getting around. Well, in other emo news, The Format is back. And they are doing 3 reunion shows.
Yes.
And it is so exciting. I cannot believe. So for those who don't know who The Format is, that band Fun, which had like some of the biggest songs of like 2010, 2012, I don't know when it was, 2015, something like that.
That just reminded me of our conversation of Salt Bay. Do you remember that?
Oh, no. Yeah. How depressing was that? Both Katie and I were trying to figure out when Salt Bay became like viral and like a whole thing.
Yeah.
And I guess I was like, I don't know, 2023, 2022.
No, at first you said, I don't know, last year. And I was like, no, Nani, it wasn't last year.
And then wait, when did you say?
I don't remember what I guessed. I think maybe I guessed 2020.
Or, yeah, something. And you looked it up. 2017.
2017.
So wild.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Format is doing 3 different shows, one in Phoenix, one in New York, and one in Los Angeles. And they are going to be, in my opinion, a night to not miss, because
yeah,
I don't know if it means that they're going to do more than just these 3 shows, but holy hell, those are going to be a hot ticket to get. Yeah. I hope so. It's going to be a really hard ticket to get, but I think it's going to be an amazing show. I didn't forget, but I forgot that this was on our list today, is Idaho and emo collided this month.
It's true. Good old Bud from Census Fail went on a little family vacation to Victor, Idaho, and
Which is
posted
so
about
random.
it. Yeah. posted about it on his Instagram, and Victor and Blackfoot, it looks like that's where he was, and they went to the Potato Museum. I was like, I mean, Victor's a beautiful place, right?
It's over
Totally.
by Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Yeah.
It's on the other side of the mountain pass from Jackson, Wyoming. So it is mountainous country over there because not all of Idaho is mountainous, and it's a
Yeah.
very beautiful corner of Idaho.
And it kind of seemed like, I mean, he posted about it on Instagram. It kind of seemed like it was a road trip, and I think he lives in Arizona. Like, that's
Yeah.
quite the trek with 2 kids.
Yeah, we messaged him on a post on Instagram or something. He was like, he was like, I love it out here. It's amazing.
Yeah, sure is. Yeah, Idaho.
Because we're Idaho proud emo girls over here.
Absolutely. So Bud from Census Fail, if you're listening, we're still, you're still invited to the podcast, and come to
Anytime.
Sun Valley. Like,
Any day.
Victor's
Honestly,
cool.
Victor's fine. Victor's cool, but like in comparison to Sun Valley,
Yeah.
there's no comparison.
Come to Sun Valley. Call up your buddies, Mark and Tom.
Yeah.
Ask them to stay at their house. Anyway.
So in other news though, Motion City Soundtrack, who I love because they're definitely more on the poppy end of the emo spectrum, they are coming out with their first album in 10 years, and it's going to be on Epitaph, which is OG punk label, September 19th, which is really soon.
Yeah, that is really soon. There's so much new music coming out. So exciting.
It's just this resurgence is
Yeah.
really bonkers. I don't know what to say about it. It's wild to me.
It's so wild. And maybe that's really what we have to talk about is more new music. So I'll chime in. There's this band called The Paradox. I don't know if you've heard of them. You've probably seen them on TikTok because they've gone a little viral, but it's very pop punk. It's for Black kids, but they are doing great things, and they have a new song out produced by and featuring Travis Barker, and I watched the music video for that this last weekend because it just came out. It's called Bender, and it's pretty fun. It's just like a party song, and they're at this house party, and throughout this video there's like little hints that it's Travis Barker's house. Like his initials will show up, and then there's like a picture of him on the wall, and the guys in the band are kind of like, you could tell it's kind of that they're like, wait, are we at Travis Barker's house? Like that's kind of the vibe of it. And then like they wake up the next morning or whatever, they're all in the living room, and that's really funny too. It's just very like tongue in cheek and quirky. And then they like walk into this other room, and Travis Barker's just like eating his breakfast on the couch. He's like, wait, who are you guys again? Like that's how the video ends.
I love that.
And the 4 kids from The Paradox are just like, what? But it's so good. And I think you said emo resurgence, and I think Travis Barker is a big person to thank for all of it. So
I agree. I absolutely agree. Well, so we've talked about this before, how I went from emo to EDM, and those worlds are colliding right now, and they already have prior, right? Like Skrillex went from first to last to his now EDM as Skrillex, and he's done many other things too. But in the opposite direction is Marshmello. So Marshmello, the DJ that always has the marshmallow like figurine over his head.
right.
He's in a pop punk band now, and
Love it.
the band is called Underbrook, and he's the lead singer of Underbrook, and the lineup is comprised of a bunch of like interesting and other like famous musicians. So this guy Jake Torrey, who's from Linkin Park and 21 Pilots, like played with them at least. Josh Strock from Motionless in White and Machine Gun Kelly, so he must have been like a backing guitarist for that. And Danny Couture, who is Bring Me the Horizon and 24K Golden, and then bassist Hayden Tree from Crown the Empire, and then the drummer. I don't know about the drummer, but like that's a lot of bands to list in one entity.
Yeah.
So I haven't given it that much of a listen yet, but I'm super curious because it's just going the opposite direction of there's just such a strong through line from emo music and EDM music. And I don't know if it's just because of the age of the people who listen to that and like to listen to this now, or maybe it's like the same euphoric feeling that you get when you listen to electronic music that you kind of get when you listen to punk music. but
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
know
we've
either.
talked about it before. There's a through line from emo to country too. So,
that's right. That's right.
did you say the name of the band, or could you say it again?
Underbrook.
Okay, thank you. I missed it.
Oh, yeah, you're fine. And then Acceptance, one of my favorite Pacific Northwest bands out of Seattle, they are doing a re-record of their record Phantoms. And it's epic because the re-record is bringing in some really wonderful vocalists. So like Martin from Boys Like Girls is part of a re-record of a song. Teddy Swims is part of a re-record of one of their songs. And so they have all of these guest musicians, guest vocalists on this re-record of Phantoms, which is like the record that made Acceptance. And it's so cool to me because I think a lot of us know who Teddy Swims is. He's had a huge career in the last couple years.
Yeah.
Big voice, really big voice. Like he kind of battles Kelly Clarkson as it relates to like, he just has vocal runs for days. He knows exactly what he's doing. But I remember seeing on social media at some point that he was referencing his favorite bands and his favorite musicians. And he said Anthony Green was one of his favorite people, and he said that Acceptance was one of his favorite people. So to see that he's part of this re-record with Acceptance is so epic. I hope he does something with Anthony Green.
That's awesome. He's got such a great voice too.
Yeah, and so I'm excited to listen to all the stuff on this re-record of Phantoms, which I haven't done yet. It's been a very busy summer. That's all I have to say.
It sure has.
There's a lot going on in the music world too, that like to find time to do life and to do all of the other things, it's just sometimes things take a back seat.
Exactly.
In other new music, it's Down with Webster, which is also on my end of the poppy emo news. They're a Canadian band. It's shortened by DWW, and they are like a 7-piece group from Toronto, Canada. Did you ever listen to them?
No.
At all?
Not.
Okay.
No.
So I love them. I actually almost started managing them. That's how much I enjoyed them, because I was like, these guys can be huge. But as of today, the day of the release of this podcast, they put out their new song "Okay," and it's spelled OKAE, and it stands for obviously killing absolutely everything. And
okay.
That
should be our new go-to, our new motto.
Right? And I love this band, and they're so fun, and they were actually the anthem. You know how like politicians will choose songs that will be like their walkout anthem.
Yeah.
So in Canada, the prime minister, who was, I think it was the PM at least, he chose Down with Webster as his walkout sign. So Down with Webster's has this huge resurgence, and they're huge in Canada, but they're not super big in the States. They're big on like northern states, so like Michigan, anything kind of close to the Canadian border. They're big. Over in Seattle, they're pretty big because of Vancouver, but they never quite blew up in America the way that I think they should have. But they're a huge Canadian emo band, or like in the scene, if you will. And so it's exciting for me to see them come back with a new song and this newfound fame again. So
yeah, that's
I
awesome.
think they're great. And the guys in the band, they're great. They're big songwriters too. So since disbanding years ago, they've now gotten back together, but in the interim, they've all been doing really amazing things in the larger music industry as songwriters, producers, and whatnot. And so they've touched a lot of songs that we've heard on the radio. So they're super talented dudes.
Sweet.
Yeah, but
love it.
Obviously killing everything. Wait, what was it?
I think that's obviously killing absolutely everything.
Yeah, I just love it.
I love that so much. That's great. Well, I didn't have this on our list, but I also wanted to say that Mark Hoppus was just at Disneyland with his wife and Mike Shinoda, which I thought was funny. And they had posted a picture of them going down some of the, I don't know what the rides are, but they're in like
Kingdom, Magic Mountain,
I think. Yeah. And it's just funny. It's Mark Hoppus and Mike Shinoda and like some other, their wives and 2 other people who I wasn't totally sure who they were. But I'm just like, what a weird, I don't know. That's cool.
Okay, I have a question for you then. We've talked about this a little bit. Do we trust adult fanatics of Disney?
Yeah. Well, because you asked me that last night. I said, well, Mark Hoppus was just there.
So yes.
I think it depends on how far you take it. And
Yes, I agree with you. It is interesting to me how obsessed some people are with Disney.
Yeah.
I get it when you're a kid, and I think that some people have such a life-changing experience at Disney that like they just continue to chase that feeling, because there is a feeling when you step onto that park. But it's also like, for me, I'm like, snotty kids, long lines, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been since I was a very young child. I'll
Yeah.
be going. I have a daughter now, so like
Oh yeah,
that's in my
your near
future.
future for sure.
But no, I think it depends on how far you take it. Like I used to work with somebody who was like weirdly into Disney, and it's like, okay, you're a grown woman. This is too much.
Yeah.
But I feel like that is almost with anything, right? People just can get too obsessed. Maybe I'm too obsessed with Blink-182. So there you go.
I'm obsessed. I told you this the other day that I'm obsessed with the way that you say Blink-182, because I hear you pronounce two differently. You kind of go like two.
Blink-182.
Two.
I have never. Do I just say two? Like when I just say it, the number?
You
or the
don't always
word?
say, no, you only say it with Blink-182.
Blink-182. Okay, I'm gonna have to start listening to myself when I say
I know
it.
now that I called it out, it's never going to happen again. That's how that stuff works.
Blink-182.
Well, I think that was everything on my list. Did you have anything else that you wanted to call out?
I don't think so, but lots of good things happening all the time. It's so exciting.
All the time. Well,
All
let's
the
get into
time.
our emo lyric of the day then.
Okay, do you want to go first?
I sure can. So the lyric that I chose is All American Rejects, and I wanted to do it because I wanted to pick an artist that we were talking about for July, and I just love the Savannah Banana thing that he did. And so I chose a pretty recognizable lyric, and that is off of Dirty Little Secret.
Okay.
And the lyric is, I'll keep you my dirty little secret. Don't tell anyone, or you'll be just another regret.
It's a great line.
It is, but when you read it, I think it just hits differently, which is why I needed to, that's why I needed to read it this time, because it's such a well-known song that, for me at least, when I read that, it just is so different than when you hear it sung.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So.
And totally great lyric. We have some association with that lyric as of late. If that's maybe that's why you chose it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We'll keep that between ourselves.
Uh-huh.
I love it. That's a great lyric.
Love that.
Do you want to read it again? You only read it once, I think.
I mean, I can. Would you like me to read it again?
Yeah, I feel like we always read it twice.
I'll keep you my dirty little secret. Don't tell anyone, or you'll be just another regret.
Ooh, saucy.
Saucy. What about you? What's your emo lyric of the week, KT?
Well, I chose that song Bender from The Paradox and Travis Barker.
Oh, cool.
I
need to listen to that.
Yeah, and you should listen to their other what is their other song that they kind of went a little viral for. Cuz it's really good, and most of their lyrics are pretty simple and a little more silly and just light, I would say, is kind of their overall vibe. But it's so good. It's just great. It's great. So the lyric that I chose from Bender is, I hate attention, but I'm right in the center of the room and it's spinning, so I'm holding on to you.
Oh my God. Wait, I need you to read that again.
Okay. Which Bender, we've been on a bit of a bender.
Yeah.
So
this is why I need you to read it again.
It's a little relatable too.
It's
okay.
too relatable right now.
I hate attention, but I'm right in the center of the room and it's spinning, so I'm holding on to you.
Oh my God, that is so good.
Yeah, right?
God, Katie, God.
Sorry.
Well, yeah. Obviously, you won again.
It doesn't have to be obvious. You picked a great one.
I mean, I appreciate it, but yours is better.
I get the like surprise factor though, because you don't know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you choose mine more often, because you know what yours is ahead of time, obviously.
You know, that's a really good point, but yours is so good.
Well, thanks.
The visual of it. Like when
Yeah.
you're reading it, like thinking, because I created a whole visual when you're reading it.
Yeah, totally. And watch the music video. It's really funny. And there's just like these hints of like, is this Travis Barker's house? And then at the end, then Travis Barker comes in and plays drums. And then at the end, it's like the next morning and it's just funny. And he's like, who are you guys again?
Who are you?
Yeah. So thank you, Travis Barker, the king, for, just being a big part in the emo pop punk resurgence.
I just got to say, though, every time somebody says Travis Barker, the thing that immediately comes into my brain is Kim Jenner being like, and he's part of the biggest band.
Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner.
You said Kim Jenner.
Oh, I did. Sorry.
Yeah.
Kris Jenner, Kim Kardashian, the momager of the Kardashians.
Yeah.
When she was like introducing the new boyfriend or whatever, I can't remember why he was being talked about.
Yeah.
But she literally was like, and he's in the biggest band of all time.
Yeah.
And you're like, what band could this be? And he's like, Blink-182. I'm like, which they're huge, right? Like they are huge. But also, biggest band of all time? Nah.
Yeah. What about the Beatles?
Or like, we could name so many bands that are bigger than them. But yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a huge rock band, absolutely. But a little too far.
Kris Jenner.
But this was a great episode. Thanks for listening to Emo News, July 2025. And follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Emo Hour. Anything else, Nani?
Happy Hump Day.
Happy Hump Day. Here's Bender by The Paradox featuring Travis Barker.
All right. We'll see you next week. This is so emo.